today we're going to work on creating a wasteboard laser grid for aligning our engraving pieces on our low power laser engravers. So we're going to be doing something similar to this, what's shown here in the photo um, from the GearBest website. So I have a GearBest 2.5 milliwatt or 2500 milliwatt 2.5 watt mini laser engraver, and it looks very similar to this, and I have it set up just like this. I'm going to show you how in T2 Laser we can create this grid to create nice square and centered engravings. So I'm going to open T2 Laser. So from within T2 Laser we're going to go to Mode, and we're going to select Sketch Hatch. I already have it selected. And then we're going to go into Settings. We're going to go to Advanced Settings, and we're going to Hatch Options. Now we want to set a custom spacing of 10, and that's 10 millimeters. If you just hold your mouse over it, I think it's off the screen here. There we go. Hatch Options, Custom Spacing. If we hold our mouse over that, it says millimeters. So it's 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter. So I like to have mine set at 1 centimeter, but you could do your grid could be any spacing that you'd like. I'm going to click off of let's see here, exclude outline. So the next thing we want to do is select the type of hatching that we want. So for this we want it to be a vertical and a horizontal hatching. If you look at the little X next to crosshatch right here, that would indicate that it would be diagonal hatching, and that's not what we want. So if you right click on crosshatch, it switches between horizontal and vertical and diagonal. Same thing with the diagonal lines. If you right click on it, it switches back and forth. So we want to select the horizontal and vertical, which is the little plus sign. So we go ahead and select that. If we go back in, we see that it's selected. Perfect. So now we're going to go in and create a sketch. So we click the sketch button, and now here you're going to put the maximum engraving size of your laser. So these are the default sizes. However, I found that my laser actually will go out to like 180 in the X and like 240 in the Y. And so you want to just set this at whatever your maximum engravable size is. For this project, we'll just leave it as is. You would just select here and bump up the numbers to whatever your machine engraves at. But for your standard A3 and A5, this will get you pretty close. We're going to select OK, and then we're going to make a rectangle. So we're going to click in rectangle, and we're just going to put it on the screen. Now we click back to select, and we select this box, and we press the P button, P like Paul. It's going to bring up the properties window, and we want this box at 0 to start at 0, 0. So we're going to select 0, 0, and then we want it at 170 by 220, which is what we set our maximum engravable distance is, which is also the size of this. Now, it's always best to turn on the information overlay. So if we had the information overlay, the maximum height and width would have been just right here, and we could enter those right here under the end position for the X and Y. So we select OK. So now we have our grid. So now we need to engrave it. So if we click the little gear to generate the G-code, we come out to control the laser. Now the only other consideration you need to take is how deep and how dark you want this to be engraved. So we have our feed right here of 1,000. 1,000 is pretty standard. It's going to give you nice dark lines. And then our power is set at 255, which is full power. And our minimum is set at 0. So it's somewhere, if we had it in some sort of a grayscale, it would be some version from 0 to 255. Since these are all black, solid black lines, then it's going to be engraving them at that 255, which is maximum power. Our resolution doesn't really matter for this. and then the other thing we need to select is our start point. So we have the corner start point in the lower left, so then now we know that when we go to engrave this, we need to move the laser to its the lower left corner before we start. So we click Control Laser to generate the G-code, and I'm not actually connected to my laser right now. I'm actually in the house, laser's out in the garage, but so we just jog the laser over by putting it into the lower left corner, and then we'd select machine, and we set origin for the workpiece, and that was setting where that lower left corner is. So then if we click view and hit the S button for simulate, it's going to show us how it's going to go about making this engraving. So it's going to do all of the horizontal lines first, and then go in and fill in all the vertical lines. So the last thing that we do is we're going to take a look. It's going to take about 8 minutes and 59 seconds, so right about 9 minutes. You just hit the send, and that's going to go in and create your grid lines. So that is how we use T2 laser to create a wasteboard grid for aligning our work pieces. So that's all I have for you for today. If you saw my previous video, I showed it doing it in 2 steps. After talking with Zax, he showed me where he had hidden the feature to make it do horizontal and vertical engraving all in one step. So thanks, Zax, for providing me that extra info, and have a good day lasing.